Well, we are here with master builder, lifestyle expert Connor Osterhaus. He's got Carter's Kids. He's been here talking about this wonderful foundation. It improves the lives of so many thousands of children. He's masterful when it comes to building. He's the nicest guy.
Yep.
And he's not bad to look at. Okay, fine. So he's got all those things going against him, and yet you continue to go. This is your 55th playground.
Playground.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations.
So we build them all over the U.S.
Why is that so important?
Well, it's so important to build playgrounds. You know, as a builder, when I started working on TV, I thought, okay, I got to give back a little bit. How can I do that? And so building and then working with kids seemed like the next best thing. So we build one playground a month all across the U.S., and it's called Carter's Kids. And we do it with, low-income neighborhoods, Boys and Girls Clubs, schools, and stuff like that. And we're actually doing one here in L.A. this week, which is great. And then I think we go to Nashville after that, and then Austin after that.
Alexandra out doing the playground thing.
My
boys
gosh,
did
she's
the playground.
obsessed
Yeah,
with the playground. Obsessed with it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you put a playground in, and kids, the study is kids are 400% more likely to be physically active if they have something attractive to play on. So you think that you're fighting against TVs, video games, phones. That's what really the fight is, where kids are, sedentary, and they're not moving around. So you have something attractive to play on. Kids feel like it's Disneyland in their backyard.
It is like Disneyland.
Yeah, it's great.
We actually have some footage of you putting up a playground on a Native American reservation. This is great.
Yeah. At Carter's Kids, we build one playground a month all over the U.S., and we couldn't do it without the help of guys like this. For me, I love heavy machinery like that. But it's volunteers like this and donors like people all across the U.S. that make big playgrounds like this go.
All come true.
Really
nice. Yeah. It's funny, I started working with Kirk Douglas and his nonprofit, which is hilarious, because when I started working with him, I worked with him for a year. Not to name drop or anything, but it just did. But the best thing about it is, the guy is smarter than anybody in the room, right? But he fell asleep in the first meeting that I ever had with him, and I was like, "Oh man, this isn't going well at all. This is never going to work." Fortunately, I worked with him for a year. He taught me so much, so that's great.
Good. Yeah. It's good though, because the motor skills they develop, climbing and crawling,
absolutely.
All of it. So
you also wrote a book. It's called A Big Problem.
Yeah, A Big Problem. So I'm a big believer in that kids, should have stuff that they can tinker with, and we're going to start coming out with a few new books called Tinker and Scrap, where kids are going to be able to tinker with just scrap materials. So I'm a big believer in the fact that not only physical activity, but just working your mind and trying to figure out how to get over certain issues and problems. I mean, the cognitive development in that is just massive.
I could do with some of this. I'm listening to all this going on. I could definitely pick up a few tips.
I worked with my boys over the weekend. We had some man glitter on us. I'm telling you, we were covered in man glitter.
Yeah, well, it's great, right?
This is a project. These are rolling storage cubes
that
you can do with your kids. And you got started earlier with these. Right?
Yeah, so super easy to make. So it's just a box. Essentially, boxes can be very simple to make. Here's what I was doing with 3/4-inch plywood, drilling some pilot holes there. Using some wood glue. Again, the squares were about 12 by 12s. Just make a simple box. Use 1.5-inch screws. Put it all together. Once it's nice and firm, make sure you do all 4 sides. The cool thing is we put a little ridge in the front of it, so you can put books or toys or anything, and that's that little ridge right there. And so that way, everything's nice and secure. And then we started painting it. Again, just paint it any color you want. Have fun with it. Have your kids paint it. We put some blue painter's tape on around the side, and then we just put a nice little white square.
And
now, yes, it is. So we take this medium gel, and you put the gel. You can get it at any craft store, and you take a photo. Turn the photo upside down after you put the gel on. Get all the air bubbles out. Give it about, I would say, 8 to 10 hours, and then once the 8 to 10 hours has transpired, you take a little sponge, which we're going to do here in a second, and you peel it off, and you have the photo.
And for just to let people know, you can always have your local hardware store cut this to the sizes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So don't be scared of that if you don't have the big equipment.
It's easy measurement.
Yeah. So what we did here is, again, we're putting on these casters too, which is one of the final things that we did.
Okay.
Very simple to put on. You make sure you use small enough screws because this only is 3/4-inch lumber. But once you put these on, I mean, that's pretty easy. But the big reveal is really right here, and that is the photo. Now we've only had this on for about 4 or 5 hours, so it might not come up. But the
You see the final product.
Yeah, the final product is right over here.
Okay.
But we're going to try it.
Why did the photo stick again?
So you take a photo and you want to use a laser printer. You can use ink and just do a black and white, and it actually ingrains in the wood even more. So, but laser printer was pretty cool. So you put this medium gel. You can get this at any craft store, and you take that and you put it on the photo paper.
And that's what makes the paper.
Wait, is it backwards?
Stick?
Yep.
Hang on, is that bad?
Oh, this one's already backwards.
Because when you put it on.
So when you put it on, so if you print it backwards, which is really cool. So if you print it backwards and then you place it on, let it sit for about 8 hours. And then we're going to take that sponge right there.
Now, my only concern with this is that if I was a kid, I'd start having races.
Yeah,
By wiping?
Exactly.
You know what I
have
mean?
races.
With the casters on the bottom, you know?
Yeah,
true.
Well, that's what you should be doing, right? As you're a kid.
Exactly.
But you know, if you're an adult, or you know, you can make some bigger ones, and you can have races as adults too, right?
And oh my gosh, look, it's coming off.
Yeah.
Mark.
So the paper is just going to come off. The photo is going to stay on the wood. It's going to be transformed onto the wood. Now, this one was only left up for about 4 hours, so we're going really fast with this
But
one.
it's working.
It is working.
I just don't want to rub too hard and rub her extensions out.
What's this called again?
Did you just hear what he said? He doesn't want to rub my fake hair out of my
I'm saying I'm rubbing really hard.
Oh, it's okay, Mark. It's okay. I can take it.
Yeah.
All right.
So you're going to have to do this for about like 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
You want to be delicate, but at the same time, you know, a little aggressive.
But you could do this with anything. You could do it for your office or for
Totally.
your dorm room.
No, you can
or
do this
a
for anything. And this is how you put a lot of character onto whatever you're making. And again, this will cost in a store around $75. Here, it's for all of these, it costs $25 to make these, which is great.
They're $25 versus the $75, and they're one of a kind.
Totally.
This is something that's personalized.
Totally. It's
for
you and your daughter.
Yes.
You're not making that at the store. Michael's isn't making that for you.